It is time to continue our expedition. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, okay. It's like did it reset? Oh, my bad. I should have claimed these. Very foolish of me. You don't need all this fetching. Got our scatter shot. Hunter man. Ask Daka. Hey Daka, I have another topic for Ask Daka. Your favorite books, audiobooks. The Name of the Wind. This is his. This is Wookiees. The Name of the Wind for the most well thought out magic system. I'm into that because I've been messing with what's Rim? Is it RimWorld? I feel like that's the name of the world, but not the book series. Yeah, is it? I don't know. The Black Prism series for the most ingenious and complex character design development while having a completely unique magical setting. As you can guess, I'm into fantasy, lol. P.S. Love Red Rising so far. So I recommended the Red Rising series because it was recommended to me. Someone was like, Joe, you're going to love this. Just read it. You didn't give me anything else beyond that, and it's probably one of my favorite book series ever. As far as fantasy, that's okay. I can mess with that because I'm mostly a sci-fi fantasy guy myself. I read a lot of as you saw from the Underdark. Oh, this is a secondary, huh? Yeah. We're not playing your game, sir. It was a nice try, but we're not playing that game. So the Drizzt Doerden series by R.A. Salvatore or Salvatore. I don't know how you pronounce his. All right, the Pistons are there, which means this entrance has got to be nearby, I think, right? Just got to figure out the ramp and where that is. The Drizzt was really good. That's a really good series. There it is. Oh, okay. I was like, what are you dragging me into? This is, yeah. I would hide this a little more, cover it with some stuff. I mean, his problem is that I could see it from, you know. That got off, huh? So in that vein, that would be my recommendation for. Oh, you know what? Also the Brunner Battlehammer. I guess that was the companions of Drizzt. So I guess that's in the same vein. There's another 40k one of Gotrek, and Felix, maybe? I've heard really good things about that, and the guy who recommended it is someone who enjoys a lot of the type of stuff I like. So that would be another one. If you're leaning more into sci-fi fantasy, which I really, really enjoy, obviously because of like 40k, Altered Carbon and Neuromancer. Both of those books, out of control good. Like, really, really good. They kind of set the cyberpunk genre going, honestly. What else? Metro 2033. That's kind of a horror. Kind of a... you've probably seen the game. Is the game based on the book? Or is the book based on the game? I don't remember. Whatever the case is, it's really excellent. Would very much recommend that. And Metro 2034, I believe, is the next one. It's good. Gritty, all that shit. It made me get the game, actually. And kind of misclicked there, but it worked out. Can I get out of here? Oh, shit. Right there. Awkward. That's super awkward. I cannot believe that. I do see you. And I do see that. And I do see that as well. And I want to try. Let's go. Oh! Okay. I'm glad I tried, but holy shit. So I would recommend that one. Metro is another really good one. Recent ones I've checked out under recommendations of, that's going to be this and that. Under the recommendations of my brother-in-laws are Genius Plague, which is an interesting one. I would have liked more to happen, but it is a good book. And then the Three Body Problem, which I'm pretty sure they're coming out with a movie. That was too cerebral for me. And I really like people getting into the nitty gritty. It was very boring to me, and I really tried. I tried to continue it 2 or 3 times, and it might just be I'm not someone who. It was like they were fleshing out the sci-fi part like you wouldn't believe, and it was almost overdone. Where I'm like, okay, I believe it. Okay, you don't have to keep going. They're like, and another thing that further confirms, and you're like, okay, like, can we get to some action here, or what's going on? The concept and the idea is really cool, and it's right up my alley. So it isn't the subject matter, and I won't tell you much about what's going on in them. Nice. But I am too quick and too cat burglary. Let me think. What another one is? My dad, for a really long time, has been wanting me to read Clan of the Cave Bear and Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. So there you go. I haven't read either, but he's like, Joe, have you read them yet? And he's been he's been saying it for like 10 years. Okay. And one of these days I will read it. My dad's a big reader, and he normally is into some pretty cool books. So is my mom. Honestly, they all are. What's a book I can recommend to you personally beyond the Red Rising? Okay, you got me there. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, wow. Look at that. So one of my favorite books, although here's the thing, I don't know if it stood the test of time or if it's still cool. One of the books that really changed my, I think, not trajectory necessarily, but way of thinking was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Really good book. I did not like the movie. I think in most cases, when you read a book first and then you go see the movie, the characters don't really line up with what you've kind of built in your own head. That's why books are superior if you got the time and the means and you don't mind reading, because ultimately you get to give all of them voices that you want. You get to give all of the character, you can make them look however they look to you, and they're perfectly made the way you would, kind of see them. But One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was kind of unique to me because in college, my first year there, I was kind of doing what I had done in school always, which is just like, you try for a little bit and then I forget. And then I'm like, well, fuck it. So I was kind of like, not really checked out on school, but I wasn't trying too super hard. And I was still in that, this is cool. I like these tubes whenever I see them. So I wasn't doing too hot, and a common theme was like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, what is my purpose? It seems like everyone else has a direction. Everyone else knew what they wanted to do. Everyone else was moving towards something, and I was just like, there's nothing I really like him about, really. And I think for the first time, that's a reverse. That's a back door. Totally got me with that. That's huge. So freshman year, I was like fucking off. I was getting into trouble. I was I was arrested one time and had to apologize to a fire marshal. I think it was either a 1-page or a 3-page apology to him, and that's a whole other thing. It was on accident. It wasn't something I did on purpose, but I did accidentally evacuate an entire, I think, 12-story building. Or 8-story. Maybe 6. I'm in my head, I'm like, 12 stories is like a skyscraper, dude. I'm trying to think. I think it was 6 stories. Okay, so anyways, that was kind of like not lost. I mean, I guess that's a common theme for my life. It's just like, where the hell do I belong kind of thing. But I read that book, and Randall McMurphy was, I think, the first character I really related to. And I don't think I'm Randall McMurphy. Nothing like that. It was someone else who didn't really, I wouldn't say didn't have a purpose, but he kind of just was living. That was his thing. That's what he wanted to do. And, he seemed to really enjoy himself. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. I mean, if I could find a job where I could enjoy myself, or studying where I could enjoy myself, I'd be all about it. But that book really spoke to me. And if you want, I mean, I won't spoiler it for anyone who wants to read it, but it is an old-ass book. But it's basically a guy who ends up in a loony bin who doesn't belong there because he wants to get out of prison and he thinks it'll be easier in the loony bin. And the character itself is just he's a good dude at his core. And he's up against kind of an entity that is more concerned with order than the benefit of all. And I think I read that book, like, I took 3 days, didn't go to any classes. There was this like pit, which was like this darkened area with like diffuse lighting underneath the building where I was at, where it was like attached to the cafeteria, where people could just like quiet study. It was really cool. Ambiance was 10 out of 10. And I read that entire book, cover to cover. I couldn't put it down. I just read the whole thing. And even the ending was just like, this is great. And so that one's got a special spot for me. Randall McMurphy, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That was the first time in my life I was like, well, maybe I don't need to be anything, you know? Maybe just living is enough. And that put me at ease quite a bit more, because I was like, you know, it's just getting worse. People are getting further and further into their career paths. And, oh, he's even walking out the back, man. How did I not see that? Wow, that is crazy good, man. That's crazy good. What was that here? Wow. Uh, so, wait, what? Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. So that book's got okay. A special spot for me. And I think that's kind of the beauty of books and stories in general is, you know, that book, you might pick up, any one of you might pick up One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and be like, I don't fucking get this. This book is shit. And it's cool because it's not your book. It's not for you. You know, there's another book out there, where I'd pick up, like, I don't think Three Body Problem is going to be anyone's like, oh shit book for them, but you know, if it like Three Body, I was like, this is boring as fuck, and someone else is like, oh my god, this explains so much of life to me. And I think that's kind of cool, is that books, like any other story or medium, artistic platform, you know what, that was good and it was fun. It's rare that second phases get me like that, and I just pit ashamed it hard. That's something special. uh and so everyone's got a book, you know. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest might not be yours, it was mine. You know, that was a definitive book for me. I'll always remember it, and I'll always be like, oh shit, yeah, I remember when I was like kind of like out there floating, and it was like, well, this is what Randall McMurphy does. I was like, that makes sense to me. That dude makes sense to me. The character you made, and there was a comfort there because the book was written in, I don't even know when. Let's say 1950s. I'm probably wrong. Maybe 70s. Who cares? Before my time, before I was born. Is this a big middle finger? Rogers Height, Loxley. Okay. Um. Oh, he's got a wristwatch on too. Oh, that's swag. Uh. I lost my train of thought. That was unfortunate. I should have kept going with it, but you know how it be. Ah. Okay. Uh, you know, that mesh wall with me, it kind of was comforting. I won't say I read it and I was like good, but I was like, you know, maybe my purpose is I don't have one, you know, kind of thing. And I don't know that that's necessarily true to anyone. I think life is what you make it. Not to get too philosophical based on books, but it's kind of hard to talk about books and not for me, because so many of them have brought on so many cool ideas that I never would have thought of on my own. Um, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is definitely that for me. Oh, sorry, I remember now. So the fact that it was made in, oh yeah, this is kind of rough, huh? 1970s meant that that author, whether it was him or someone he met, knew someone like that in his life to make the character. Not always, but you always base something off of a reality. And the best characters are the ones that seem real. And I don't think you can make a real character that doesn't have some, you know, shred of truth to him about life, you know? Man, those sucking sounds get me every fucking time, dude. So knowing that someone in the 70s or 50s or 60s, whenever that was written, knew someone or was like that means that person's been around for all the generations. And you know, after I'm gone, there will be others like him, you know, that are born and are there. So they're always there. So you're never kind of alone, I guess. In whatever it is you're feeling. While it might seem that there are very unique individuals, and there certainly are with some stories that are just like, man, you know, bummer. But there seems to be... Yeah, I'm gonna get bombed, huh? Very nice. Patted myself on the back for that one. Die, everybody? Oh, triple. And that's comforting to me. I like that. I like that Randall McMurphy or someone that guy kind of knew in his life and was like, yeah, I'd like to make this character based on whatever, existed. That was a comfort to me. Just knowing that character was out there and was created from another human's mind that was like 30 years or 40 years before me was like, cool. All right, well, so this isn't like a, you know, odd man out story. This is just a, hey, you're just like everybody else. You know, everyone's got some shit they're going through and trying to figure themselves out. And so that book will always have a special place. I would recommend it to anyone. I think there's a lot of great characters in it. Nurse Ratched is amazing as a antagonist. Chief is awesome in there. I love that. And I think that's the story I like most is, you know, things happen a certain way and ultimately, you know, you maybe think things aren't going to go the way you'd like, and maybe they don't. I think that's part of the reason I liked it, because it was an ending that seemed real to me, or more real. But in the end, it was a net positive. It was, things maybe happened unfortunately, but things still worked out because of the way Randall was and what he did for people. I think it was really cool. Okay. Excuse me. But those would be my recommendations. Neuromancer and Altered Carbon are fantastic, though. Really, really good books. Sci-fi, though. Okay, that's your storage. Got it. Okay. So back through the maze we go. The lava maze. All right, he's trapping. Like, I was not prepared for that, but pretty funny. We are meet your maker and now, boys. Run. Holy hell, dude. Oh, wow, that's what that's for? Okay. Let's get some XP. And I appreciate you pointing out your books. Name of the Wind, Black Prism. Okay, I'm going to check those out. If any of you guys have books, you know what I would like, actually, more than anything? Certainly, good books are good books, but I'm not someone who, like I said, The Three Body Problem, that's a good book. Don't get it twisted. I really think it's a good book. I don't think it's a good book for me. So just because, you know, like I just said with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I also believe is a good book. And maybe you guys, I don't know what kind of books you guys read in your curriculum, but like To Kill a Mockingbird is another one that's in. I did not appreciate that book nearly as you can't. Well, that's a whole other tangent, but it is on books, and some of those books need to be taught later. I don't think you can appreciate To Kill a Mockingbird until you're an adult, and you can't appreciate how cool Atticus Finch is until you're an adult and you realize what he's trying to do and how important it is. I just couldn't. I read it. I just was like, whatever, this is dumb, because I couldn't relate to it in no way, really, as a young guy. But anyways, so I wouldn't necessarily be interested as much in like just good books, although I am. I'd be more interested in the book that you're like, this is my favorite book. because those generally have something in them. Oh wow, rolls all the way back down, dude. All right, check this out. Oh shit. Okay. Get boomed on. You know, if there's a book where you're like, man, this kind of changed my life a little bit. And as much as it seems kind of cliche or, I don't know, like, all right, dude, they're out there. And that one did it for me. It definitely brought me a bunch of comfort. And it's also why I just read the fucking shit out of it. And that is also atypical for me. I do it. I've done it before with other books that I really liked where I'll just be like, this is what I'm doing now. And, you know, I've canceled plans to continue reading. A book where I'm like invested in. Actually, if you're into fantasy, there is a book called, I think, Orcs. And I'll have to look. I'll post it in the comments maybe if I can find it. Because off the top of my head, I can't really remember. Those are like the good books, but I have like a bunch of, you know, fringe books that only select, I think, people would enjoy. I'm big into war and philosophy and psychology and ethics and what else? How-tos. Like, I think one of my goals, well, I have 2 goals. Totally achievable. I could do them tomorrow if I wanted. But I want to build a Tesla coil with my dad. That's something we've been talking about. He's nervous about it because my dad taught physics. And he's like, we could build one, but like they aren't entirely sure about all the stuff that comes off of those things when you build them. He's like, there's no, I'm not saying it's dangerous. I just don't, it doesn't feel right making them. And I'm like, well, we got to try. But he's got an aptitude for that kind of stuff. Actually, one of his projects, really cool, was a soybean powered car that ran on soybean oil in an attempt to build something that was more green friendly. And they built like a VW Bug. Him and his high school students built a soybean car. Because then you could... All right, I'm out of here. Bye. Because then, instead of waiting, you know, millions or billions of years for fossil fuels, you know, dinosaurs to decompose and get compressed into black tar matter, you could, you know, regrow crops every year. You'd have a fuel source that you could replenish. On top of which, with crop rotation, I don't know if soybeans are one of the staple crop rotations, but it seems like a win-win. I thought soybean was. I always try and remember it through the Native Americans have the 3 sisters, and it's the 3 plants that you can grow together. And I want to say it's maize or corn. Provides the foundational stock for. And then I want to say like radishes, but that can't be right. And then something else. I don't know. It's called the 3 Sisters. I'll have to check that out. So I want to build a Tesla coil just to do it. I just think it'd be cool. And then, oh man, I already blanked on the, on my second one. What was it? Oh, I want to build a water wheel. Like on, you know, ideally, my dreams were to come true. I would own a huge scrapyard, metal scrapyard, that people like paid me to like crush and compact and take their metal, like a fenced-in yard with a whole bunch of metal things. And I would make things out of them, but I would also, it would be attached in a rural part of the country. I'd be out in the country. So I got my scrapyard, and then next to it would be like a farm. And I think you need 3 acres to be self-sustainable, and I think it's 1 acre with 1 cow. But I think you need 3 acres. Anyways, I'd like to buy land with a stream and build a water wheel that could like generate power and you know, kind of charge up a battery, even if it's a shit one. I just want I think I can do it, and I want to try it, and I know it doesn't take a lot, but I'd like to do it on my own just to see if I could. Um, and I would build it out of parts from my scrapyard. If money was no object. All right, now there's two questions in here, so I apologize. But I'm curious because uh I always find it fascinating to hear my other buddies and what they would like, you know. I have one buddy who's in the tech field, very high up. Like he's cooking. And his dream job is to own a sandwich place. And like he's like a director of whatever, and he's like, I just want to make sandwiches. That's what I would like to. Look at this grinder on the side. That's cool. And I always find that fascinating. I'm like, we tried to pick it apart one night, because we're like, you know, what is it about that? And my thought is, this individual likes control, likes things happening as they should. Very ordered person. I think order brings him comfort. And you know, what is more I almost said what is more better. Betterer. What's better than someone coming in simply telling you what they want, you make it, they give you money. It's the simplest form of you're honoring the contract. You are following the rules. Thank you for following the rules. Because you're following the rules, I can make you the sandwich. You can get the sandwich. I can get your money. Everyone's happy. It's order. And that's the best I could come up with. And I wonder if I'm close or not. But it's always like interesting that the thing, you know, both of us want to do are different from what we do. Although mine's kind of not that far away. I do deal with small parts and machines, and I do put things together. I'm a big, jury rig, you know, making things work when they shouldn't, or other people have given up on. That's kind of something I like to do. That's one of my favorite things, and not as it's never like a ha, you know. It's more like I just like to see if I have some way of figuring it out, and that brings me a great deal of joy. So I think having a scrapyard with an an unlimited amount of, you know, metal and just things that people don't want anymore, that they think are useless or no longer valuable. Did I get the no? And making them valuable again, or demonstrating that there's still use within them, even though, you know, maybe they're broken. Oh shit, is that like symbolism? Oh fuck, did I just have a come to Jesus moment? Am I just like trying to show that as a broken person I'm still useful? Oh fuck, walked right into that one. Classic Uso. But I like that. There's something about that brings me joy. This was all for a dead end. What a bastard. I like that though. It's pretty good. Hey, you know, this is the hallway I found myself in, so we'll always remember it. But also I am very lost. And, maybe not. Okay, cool. That's just like a side bet. But I like hearing about, you know, what things people look for. And it's a cool thing when my buddy was like, I just would like to like own a Subway or a sandwich shop. Maybe not a Subway, like a sandwich shop, and I make sandwiches. And I remember thinking like, wow, that's such a departure from what you do. And maybe that's why, but I think ultimately in both cases it's kind of we both just would like simplicity in some some ways. Also, there's a little isolationist part of it that I like, you know, being out in the rural area. I like people, but you know, where I'm at, where I grew up, where I worked, there's too many people. It's just I get crowded, and you know, I'm like, and then I'll just stay inside, you know, play video games. Not their fault. It's just I can't hang. That's ultimately what it is. Excuse me. But it's just cool hearing about that, because I never would have guessed that for him. And he's like, yeah, and it was like, didn't take him any time. He's like, yeah, I'd own a sandwich shop. That would be my dream job. It's like, wow, all right, cool. And and to be fair, I was like, they were like, what about you? And I'm like, I'd like to own like a metal scrapyard. And they're like, what the why? And I'm like, I don't know. I just would like to make things. I'd like to build stuff, weird stuff, cool stuff. useful stuff, absurd stuff, just things, you know, to pass the time, whatever I felt like. There's, and it stemmed. Excuse me, I got the sickness is definitely taking me for a roll. By my parents, there is a guy. It's like a dump. It's literally a dump, but not in the dump you would picture it as. It's not this giant place. It's two guys, two, like a small little cabin and a huge compactor, and you bring your garbage there because there's no dedicated service. And then they look at all your stuff and they're like, $20. And you give them $20 and they throw it in this compactor. And then eventually this truck takes it. But they just sit here, the two of them, and just hang out all day. And they have a bunch of cool shit in their shed, like from stuff that people were throwing out. And they were like, oh, I thought I froze. And, you know, like stuff hanging from their, you know, awning of their like porch kind of thing in this little cabin. And they just hang out. They literally just hang out with each other and like shoot the shit all day. And then they look at stuff and they're like, just give me like $20, $30. People hand them money. You throw it in this compactor and then they just hit a button. That's it. And I'm like, this is great, dude. And they're clearly like old friends. The two of them, they're like old bearded, you know, they're old timers. Which is why they kind of get away with like, well, if I'm paying you, why the fuck am I loading it, you know, in? But they're two nice old guys. So like, no one's going to be like, are you going to load this for me? You know, and plus where they're at is more rural. And so, you know, people don't mind doing some extra work, you know, here and there. But I did think when I saw them, that was one of the first times I'm ever like, oh, these guys figured it out, I think. So that made me, I think that's what set me on that line of, up there? No. Very nice. Did not. Not compute that one. I was just thinking, man, that's a sweet little setup you got there. What the... Oh, this is one of my finest cat burglaries. One of my finest. Must say, this one's going down in the annals of cat burglary. I have a feeling I have to get up there, so I'm just going to launch all these. Oh, hell yeah, I even got this one back. How about that one? Oh, yeah. I still have two. Man, does anyone know why they upped the booms? People thought this was underpowered? That's incredible to me. It's clearly the case because they changed it, so it must have been a majority, but oh my god, how? This is a disturbing little pit here. But yeah, if if money wasn't an option for you, whoever you are, wherever you are, watching this video. Oh yeah, look. Watch this. Boom! Oh, okay. Oh, really? Like that? It's better. If money was no object, you're covered, you're chilling, don't need to worry about any of that. What do you do? What would you like to do? And I'm not saying this is a, well, go out and do it. Because I'm not, you know, I suppose you could. But I know the world is not that simple. Even at the best of times. Oh, yeah, I got rid of a lot of stuff. Well, that guy's going to be mad in that replay, but needed to be done. You did leave me the opening, friendo. Oh, I thought I could get those. Still want to try. Got them both, baby. Yeah, what would be the thing you would choose for yourself? And it doesn't matter how dumb it is, because if it's something you enjoy doing, then it's not dumb. It isn't. It might be dumb to someone else. And just like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest might be trash, but that means that book isn't for them. You know, and there's a different book for you or whoever else. If I didn't already, and I think I did, let me know if there was a book that did that for you. That's also something I'm interested in. And if something has the gravity to, like, either change a perspective or make you think of something in a different way, I'm interested in it, straight up. So hook a brother up, please. Enhance my knowledge. Or would that be wisdom or both? Probably both. Yeah, we're going to handle all that. Then we'll just go right up here. These all turning into something? Yeah, okay. Let's do this. Let's do... Homing? Oh, what a missed opportunity there, I think. Maybe he doesn't have the budget. I think he's... I think he might have oversaturated. There's too much, and, like, people are just going to go real slow. You know, trying to, like, knock everything out. That's my thought. Now, is that it, or do you think he's got a couple more punches? I just skipped a bunch of space. Does this wrap up that, Does this wrap up this, expedition? I think it does. Oh, I didn't get that. Well, doesn't matter. Shacombe, Nature's Ninja. Sag Harbor. I like that he had the... You could traverse between two levels there. That was cool. Oh, yeah, and wait. Once I complete this, then I get my next unlock, right? I'd hate to extend it past 30 minutes, but I wonder if it'd be cooler to try and, like, complete an expedition. Completed. Hardware refill. Oh, that's that. That's not very good, I don't think. Okay. I'm not going to try and skip ahead because I just want to see if it'll show me what gets unlocked. It does. Shoot. So I should have been letting these go. Damn. Okay. Oh, and a cosmetics next, I think. Let me see. Is this, you think? Or, you know, random, air quotes, but it's like set and then set kind of thing. It'd be cool if it was really random because that means I could get something different from someone else that they got like way down here. And I think that's... Please do that. If it somehow reaches someone, make it random because that means you get to showcase some cool stuff and it's always a surprise.